Literally the worst PR scandal an idol group can get by JGAO. I have no idea. It said racism on the thumbnail if I was not blind. So that's going to be very interesting and probably very funny, not going to lie. It's probably going to be quite diabolical. See guys, the group chat has been leaked, right? The group chat has been leaked. The girlies have leaked the group chat. Not gonna lie, the racist community doesn't care about racism. They only care about that you're racist and then you're part. It doesn't matter where you're from, as long as you're racist.
Okay, last time a J-pop idol group reached my For You page, it was right...
Are we dealing with J-pop here? I'm curious, are we dealing with J-pop? Also, please consider liking and subscribing, I appreciate it. Are we dealing with J-pop? I wonder. Are we dealing with Japanese?
In the middle of the year in 2023, and they were an amateur group that went by the name of Sorbet! And people bullied the shit out of them because they tried to be Japanese idols.
Bruh. I was like, wait a minute. We've got white women LARPing as Japanese idols. It is so over, bro. It is so over. It is so over.
Strawberry, blueberry, みんなの甘いアイドルはベリーちゃん。はいはい、ベリーです。
Berry-chan, I think you're balding. Is Berry-chan balding?
She wasn't.
Just leave my bald queen alone, okay? I'll protect her from her baldness. We're gonna get her a wig from North Korea.
Even that bad. The conclusion I got out of that was, God forbid a white girl catch a Japanese vibe. But just 1 week ago, the biggest disaster I've seen in a professional J-pop idol group also reached my...
Local J-pop group members under fire for alleged racism against Japanese counterparts. The group chat got leaked! We need to burn it!
For You page. And honestly, after seeing how their management team has dealt with the situation in real time as it unfolded right in front of my eyes, I've reached another conclusion, and that is, I want whatever their PR team is smoking. Now, to say that it's been a rough few weeks for the fans of the Japanese...
See, stuff like this could never happen to me, because if you're openly racist, nobody's surprised that you're racist and can cancel you. Not that I'm racist, but you get the idea. You get the idea.
His pop idol subsidiary group KLP48 is quite the understatement, because on the 19th of December, KLP48's management team suddenly released this official statement announcing disciplinary actions against 6 of the 13 first-generation members. Now, as the title of this official statement notes, the members in question involved in this scandal are Yishen, the current captain of the group, Amanda, Andrea, Hillary,
Why Hillary? Why Amanda? What are these names? Amanda. Interesting. Here we go.
Lise and Sawa. Okay, now besides Ishan, who I believe is 21 years old and the one who was allegedly responsible for this letter to be, to come out, the rest are all just teenagers. So let's keep all the comments civilized, please. Okay, now hereby we have the rest of the letter. So I'll read you the first few lines and...
Are they civilized? Let me see. They seem civilized. At least the most liked ones. Anyways.
Then I'll just sum up the rest. So it goes like this. Thank you for your continued support of KLP48. Following an internal review, KLP48's management has confirmed that 6 members of the KLP first generation violated the group rules governing member conduct. Now, the statement then essentially confirmed that these members were given a strict official warning with a
official warning, do not be racist.
warning placed on record, and possibly even harsher punishments such as suspensions, demotions, and terminations if any future violations were to occur. And that is all the context we get. You know what?
So the management of KLP48 was like, kids, don't be racist. And that was it.
Sounds pretty serious, but it sure left everybody wondering what all that was about. Now, first of all, I've seen PR teams drop responses after a scandal. I've seen PR teams drop responses a little too late after a scandal. You know how the saying goes, though, better late than never, right? But this is the first time that I've seen a PR team drop an announcement before the shit even goes down. and provide zero explanation or reason on why it was
You are telling me, okay, for real, till next time, take care. You are trying to tell me that these fuckers dropped a statement before the drama even began. Well, that's a preemptive strike, I guess.
released. Because this statement essentially went out with absolutely zero context and did not explain what the members had done wrong. But I must say, I like the subtle touches here regarding the, urging the fans to retain from speculation and to continue supporting the members involved. Like, what are we in, a toxic relationship? Like, hey babe, you told me something was
Yes. What do you think fans are with it? Like, sometimes the level of parasocialism are toxic. What do you mean?
wrong. What is it? Okay, fine. You know what? I'm gonna assume you have it all under control. I'm moving on with my day then. Well, nope. Unfortunately, can't do that either. Because within hours, the official statement was posted. This X account, currently sitting at 6.7 million views, posted leaked screenshots that revealed a private WhatsApp group titled "Not the Colonizers." You know what? All
Fucking diabolical, crazy work right there. Not the colonizers is crazy.
this does make me wonder though. Imagine having your group chat leaked. How bad would you feel? Or you know what? Worse. Your data leaked. Hey, actually happened to me once, and true story by the way. I was on LinkedIn this one time, clicked onto a phishing scam, and just like that, boom. Personal information was just out there, like holy. But even if you just, I don't know, Google yourself, you'd be surprised how much
Let me guess, the sponsor of said video, it is Incogni, is it not?
information is actually out there you can just find. Or worse, you can't find, but somebody else can. That's why I make sure my information stays protected with today's sponsor, Incogni, which is able to track down whatever personal data you don't even know is out there, and they'll remove them on your behalf from multiple websites so you don't even have to do it yourself. We're talking about things like addresses.
It doesn't matter if the government wants mandatory IDs to access the internet and looks through your chat history and your emails and whatever it is. Don't be fooled. The government is already selling your data. You just don't know it yet.
Numbers, emails, especially that. These are then bought and sold without your consent by data brokers, which is kind of the reason why you get so much spam. Incogni's unlimited plan gives you access to a new feature called custom removals, where you're actually able to submit a link with your personal information on any website for removal, and their cybersecurity specialists will just handle the rest of the work. And you'll pretty much get a full transparency on how that works via the portal as well. So if you want that peace of mind, use my link and code JGAO at checkout to receive 60% off on your annual plan. Okay, where was I? And in this group chat, the same 6 members mentioned in the official letter were all present with one key detail, and that is none of the Japanese members of the KLP.
Hold up. Are you going to tell me that they were racist against their own colleagues or were saying, you're not the colonizers in our group? Disgusting shit.
48 was included. So naturally, the public got to speculating. Like, people lost their minds. Safe to say that the PR statement did zero damage control. Now, to give you just a little bit of context, this will only take a minute, or else what we read in the screenshots will make absolutely zero sense, okay? Now, KLP48 is a sister group of the famous AKB48, one of the most successful Japanese idol groups in entertainment history, because they actually have this unique business model of being the group with idols you can actually meet. So imagine this, unlike a regular idol group that gives occasional concerts that you mostly seen on TV with a fan to idol ratio of probably like, I don't know, 1 to a million at the minimum, AKB firstly has its own physical theater and secondly performs there on a daily basis, where the fans would be able to go and see the girls live. It's kind of like Broadway, but that's not all to it, you see. Yasushi Akimoto,
The Japanese have their own Broadway. Crazy work.
producer of the group, originally envisioned a total of 48 members to be in those groups, right? Hence the name AKB47. No, 48. Genuine mistake. To maintain a good fan to idol ratio. But in practice, he actually went as far as hiring over 100 members in the original AKB to ensure that system worked out as intended. So AKB48 and its relevant Japanese division has a great run, wins a bunch of rewards, broke entertainment records, and then naturally they just went on to expand globally, where we now get to see Jakarta 48, Chiang Mai 48, AKB Shanghai.
That is very interesting. Idols everywhere. Idols this, idols that. When does the hololive come?
Taiwan, Manila, India, Vietnam, list goes on and on and on and on until
India. Guys, y'all have Indian idols. Well, you know.
we now arrive at the focus of today's story, the 10th and the latest installment, KLP48, announced on January 1st, 2024, making it the most recent expansion outside Japan in the 48 group system based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Being a recently
Well, is it now K-pop or is it M-pop? J-pop. Is it J-pop or is it M-pop now? Who knows?
established J-pop idol group, right? Head office then makes the decision to transfer 4 senior Japanese veterans from across AKB48 and the STU48 subdivision into KLP48, with the aim of bringing the new members up to speed because, you know, KLP48 was still made up mostly of local fresh graduates with little to no industry experience. So then if we just quickly take a look at the first generation's members list, you can see that the senior members that were transferred across from the more experienced team.
So they're just racist against the senior members. Funny. I don't think we have a market for idols. People do not care about them. Sad.
Are Yurina, Suzuha, Haruka, and Kokoa, which makes up the bulk of the Japanese members in this group. Okay, so that's everybody introduced. Now, time for the screenshots. Okay, so a total of 5
The colonizers.
screenshots were leaked at the time this video was made. Matter of fact, no official sources from KLP48 has confirmed or denied the legitimacy of these screenshots either, so take what you will out of that information. But it is evidently clear by this point that the PR teams are stressing. So let's dive into these screenshots before they get deleted, huh? So the first screenshot is a conversation with Zavi, who is allegedly an insider, and Zavi gives us context on how the whole thing potentially began. So this all started when Yishen, the current captain of KLP, right? Yishen, who was told yesterday that she is not captain anymore. Hachan is, which is Haruka. Haruka is going to be captain. Now, keep in mind that the captain swap rumor has been around for a while, so it's not.
So the captain was swapped, and the racism was immediately activated. Personichi Sanji, India, now this, what's next, boy band? Oh wait, we have that.
Not literally yesterday, but here is the significance of that piece of news. Because Ishen has been appointed captain of the KLP48's first generation since the group's inception in 2024. So then, it's easy to see how the captain swap would cause friction since Haruka was a Japanese member transferred into KLP, whereas Ishen was a homegrown Malaysian member who had already led the team for over a year. So then if management signaled that the captaincy would be handed to Haruka, it could then technically be perceived as favoritism. But then again, I think it's important to know that Haruka has like 7 years of idol experience on her. So right off the bat, we can see how Ishen doesn't.
So more idol experience, which led to the fact that she probably became captain. I would also find it silly if like placing the Japanese, right, lady as the captain, and then you would have to, I guess you'd have to analyze how it would look in other groups. And when you come to the conclusion that it's not like that in other groups, then you clearly have the answer.
Potentially fuck with Haruka, because it's like, bitch, you're taking my job. So then, diverting back to what Zavi is saying, right? Members are mad and planning to sabotage Haruka by not helping her. Now, what are they planning to do exactly to Haruka, you may ask? Well, if we quickly take a look at screenshot 2 for a second, then it shows that the members Ishen, Chichi, and Hillary are discussing how they're planning to have the fans pull a sneaky one during the captain swap announcement. And as we can see in the first text, yo guys, the fans are planning when we announce the captain swap, they will scream Ishen as opposed to probably Haruka. Now, since this captain swap information is not technically officially announced, right? So the fans use this piece of evidence to speculate that the group members in question potentially leaked insider information to fans just so they can pull this off.
Interesting.
Okay, so back to the Zavi screenshot. Zavi then details that the reason why they allegedly swapped Ishen out as captain with Haruka is that during Ishen's trip to Japan at the AKB48's 20th anniversary project, where they invited Ishen to work with AKB48 members on Oh My Pumpkin, you know, the single. Apparently she had attitude problems, such as not smiling enough, always making excuses for the members instead of reprimanding them, not giving her all to dedicate herself to the fans and work. And her face always looked bothered or neutral when told things by management, which obviously made management think she is unstable. Okay, so these are the reasons.
Okay, these are the reasons. I don't see any problem Then why is now? Let's see. How deep does the racism genuinely go?
why she will no longer be captain for the foreseeable future. Okay, so I kind of have to be honest, right? The face looking bothered or neutral when getting told things by management, that one I kind of get it. You know why? Because when you get told things by management, usually that's when you fucked up, right? Can't be
Yeah, right. That one I understand. See, it also depends what the colonizers meant, right? The colonizers doesn't necessarily have to be racial, right? It could be, obviously, because none of the Japanese are in there, but then again, that doesn't necessarily have to do anything. They might get along better, and then their plan would fail, right? Colonizers could also mean somebody who just came in and then took the place for themselves, right? That doesn't necessarily have to be anything racial, right? Tourists that enter space and completely change it up and completely demand changes are technically, in a way, metaphorically colonizers. So it depends. I think they just want to get rid of her, I guess.
expecting me to smile through all that either, right? God forbid an employee look a little concerned when they're getting told off. So I'll stand on business with Ishin on that one. But I mean, the other stuff, judging from the information on this screenshot alone, I think it's fair game she's getting swapped. Because it kind of sounds like this is the type of stuff that a Japanese idol group captain would be expected to do. Now, as we see in this screenshot with Zavi, it notes, Ishan supposedly told the members in the group chat that I don't want to ever go back to Japan again, I don't want to work with AKB members anymore, and they've seen it. Okay, now that seems pretty bad, but I do want to note here that that has been confirmed false by Ishan herself on Discord, where she claims that those words never came out of her mouth. She only said that next time she wants to go, it's with the whole group because she feels lonely in Japan. And she will slowly prove herself that they mean no harm. Which, once again, if you are confused, management has not confirmed.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think she's not actually using a profile picture of like some baby Shrek kiddo. Crazy work. Yeah, I feel like it's not particularly racist. I feel like she just really hates the fact that she got replaced as captain, which made her really angry. Yeah, sure, Joe.
Or denied this, so the public continues to speculate. Okay, so in the third screenshot, we have another exchange by Ishan and a staff member where she claims from now onwards, if Haruka has trouble communicating for you guys, I am not helping. Right, so from now onwards, Haruka is going to do her own scripting, Haruka's going to do her own planning, she's going to do her own interviews since she says I didn't give her my all. Hey, you know what? Ishan is standing on business. Can't let your ops win, dude. And then as we take a good look at the final screenshot, it is a classic workplace down with the company we work for type of chat, you know? Yeah, you're gonna have these once in a while. Now what's actually interesting is this message here, where Ishan's account looks like it was temporarily hijacked by a former idol and now KLP staff Poochie. This is where it confirms it. So the message basically urges the group not to talk shit when Japanese staff is around later. Hey, which is good looking out, because I don't know about Chi-Chi, she seems pretty disappointed that she has to be subtle with the shit talking. Do you think they ever sat Chi-Chi down and was like, hey, you know, we all
have this plan, right? We all have this plan, but you gotta stop the shit talk. You've gotta stop the shit talk.
hate the way they run this company, but you're a little too obvious. You know, like you can get us cancelled. Okay, so that's essentially all the screenshots that were leaked. Now, they're not really meant to connect seemingly together, you know, like crazy, so if it didn't really make sense fully, don't worry about it too much. But I have to be honest and say that my first reaction upon reading through all these screenshots was that it was not as crazy as some fans were putting it. I mean,
yeah, not even the slightest. I wouldn't even say it was crazy racist. To be fair, the colonizers meme thing could really just be, yo, they came in and took my spot. And that's it. Realistically. Right? Though technically it was concrete. I don't know.
colonizer group chat title didn't really do any favors there, but even then there just isn't enough evidence to convincingly argue that this was a racially motivated bullying culture deeply rooted within KLP48. You know what, at most what this looks like to me is a private workplace group chat where members were talking shit about the management failures and colleagues who just happened to be Japanese in a company ran by Japanese staff. But often I think that distinction in itself is pretty hard to make out, but you don't have to agree with me at all. So then, as confusing as it already was, accompanied by the fact that the initial statement that came out hours before was so vague, essentially giving the fans
This is meh. Yeah, I agree. I expected more. What do you mean the literal worst? I expected more. However, this was handled really badly because it was dropped. The news was dropped before actually anything happened.
room to assume the worst. The KLP incident was then quickly labeled a racism scandal in both fan communities and the media. And once the Not the Colonizers chat content went viral, the KLP management team was instantly put in a rough position, because the group has barely enough members as it is for their theatre that only recently just opened due to logistic delays. So they're definitely not in a position to fire off 6 members in one go because of a group chat. But due to the subpar initial responses provided by the PR team, the public's anger was not adequately quenched, so now they are being pressured to lay off those idols.
Congratulations on your graduation, Secret. Thank you so much for being such an amazing captain to JGAO48.
So it was only until 7 days later, on the 26th of December, where a second official statement was dropped, and this time by the representative director of the KLP48 management team. Okay, so this one's much more detailed and it gives a lot more context, and I believe that managed to calm the public down slightly. Letter reads as attached, where they firstly apologized for the confusion and concern caused by the announcement released by KLP48's management. A thorough discussion was conducted between management and the team, and they have now reaffirmed a strong sense of trust and unity amongst all members and staff. Oh, they also did address the screenshots circulating online, which they claim have misrepresented the situation and intentions of the members involved, and ultimately, the paragraph then concludes that there was no racist or bullying intent whatsoever.
I'm gonna say this. I think the group is completely destroyed and useless now. There's no trust in that group, because somebody must have leaked the chat logs. And it must have been somebody in that chat. Here's the question. Who did it?
So it kind of aligns with what I just said, right? It was like a workplace rant. Now, management acknowledges their own shortcomings of favoritism, and to prevent further incidents in the future, they've improved their processes. Now, I genuinely believe there could have been more here, but this would have been a really nice statement to have at the beginning of the scandal, which I'd imagine this didn't take much effort either. I mean, it's a one-pager written by the director. But you know, instead they rushed out a half AI-generated default script PR statement before anything even fully broke out. And now they're essentially stuck cleaning up a hot load of garbage consisting of speculating fan posts, extremist views, and I guess their move right now is they're gonna try sue them all. You know what? I'm sure with due time, a proper and real response will come by to address the situation. But
anyways, I expected more racism, and I haven't received what I expected, what I desired. I expected a little more racist and a lot less, just like workplace issues. Simplified. One got replaced as a captain and just got really, really angry, and then some asshole just leaked the group chat. That was it. But I don't think that idol group can ever recover with these members in there, because there's no trust anymore whatsoever. It's like, yeah, there's nothing happening anymore. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.